This is Mr. Elmhorst with a sixth grade math lesson where we're going to take a look at rational numbers. I'm going to give a shout out to my fifth period math class here at Grimmel. Whoop whoop. So rational numbers right here, we're going to write that up on top. Rational numbers. Rational means they can be defined, we can understand them. They are not infinite numbers that have unknown remainders that keep happening. So rational numbers, we always start with a number line to help us understand which numbers we're talking about. And on the number line, a good way to split it is by putting 0 in the middle. So 0 is neither positive or negative, and if we go to the right of 0, what type of numbers are to the right? Positive numbers, and you're okay if you speak when questions are asked. Okay, fifth period. So positive numbers to the right, and we can label those 1, 2, 3, 4, just a simple start. And if we go to the left of 0, then they are going to be negative. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a simple number line to give us reference when we start to classify numbers. While you're filling that out, I'm just going to share, back in elementary school, possibly fifth grade, you guys started classifying animals in science. And animals are a little easier to understand, either warm-blooded, cold-blooded, hairy or feathery, 4 legs or 2 legs. They fly or they walk. So why am I talking about that? Well, in math, we have to look at distinctive features of the numbers and classify them according to what's going on with the numbers. Well, the first classification that we have is going to start here at 1. And these are going to be all of our positive numbers. And we're going to call these natural numbers, natural counting numbers. And we're going to say no decimals, no decimals. And that goes on into infinity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on into 1,000, 10,000, a million, 2 million, billion. So those are our natural numbers. Well, after natural numbers are defined, there's another category, which is a slight difference, where you have natural numbers and then you have 0. And if you're talking about the group of numbers that have all the positive numbers and 0, those are called whole numbers. Small difference. Well, if you extend our understanding of numbers from positive numbers and 0, and then we go over and include everything negative, well, all of these together are called integers. And integers are going to include the positives, the negatives, 0, but still there's no decimals. There are no decimals included in the natural numbers, whole numbers, or integers. So what do we call the numbers that are left over? If they have no decimals, they're positive, they're natural numbers. If there's a 0, that's a whole number, and then it goes on into integers. Well, all these other numbers that have decimals are going to be rational numbers. So everything down below, these are all numbers including decimal numbers that have remainders. And I guess if you want to put a little box around this, you can do that too. So it's just a little intro, taking a few notes, building our number system, number classification system, just by looking at number line and identifying what numbers on a simple number line are we talking about. All right, we're going to continue with the notes here a little bit. Go down, skip 3-4 lines on the same page, and then you're going to put rational. We're just going to make a quick chart. It's a check for understanding chart. So we got rational, integer, whole, and natural. So you should have lines on your paper. Just fill in the lines and use 4 rows. Natural. And then we're going to go to the right, and let's just say we're going to start with a positive number, 0, -5, and -0.5. Notice I started with rational on top. So our classification of numbers, all the numbers for 6th grade, we're going to call all of them rational. So whether it's positive, 0, or negative, or we have a decimal, all of them are going to be rational. But only some numbers are not going to go into get another classification for another category. Decimals will stay rational only. Decimal numbers will stay rational only. They will not go down into being integers, whole numbers, or natural. But 5 will be an integer, 0 will be an integer, and -5 will be an integer because the only thing that does not go into the integer group is decimal remainder numbers. Then you go down to whole numbers. Whole numbers are not going to be negatives. And natural numbers do not have any negatives. So what's left over in whole numbers? All your positives and 0. So down below, natural numbers do not include decimals. They don't include negatives, and they also don't include the 0. What does it include? Any positive complete number that does not have a decimal. So here's a quick reference chart to give you an example that whole numbers do not have negatives, they don't have decimals, and the only thing that integers does not have is decimals.